Hey guys, if you're enjoying the content that I'm making, please click that subscribe button. Also remember to click that bell button and make sure to tick that box to send all notifications so you don't miss out on any videos. With that in mind, let's get on with the video. What's up guys, welcome to Monchkinz Gaming, where we take your gaming to the next level. This is Monchkinz logging in to bring you another Dissidia Final Fantasy Opera Omnia video. And in this video we're going to be talking about the lost chapter from Zanarkand part 10 in hard mode and how to beat this fight. So let's start off with the general tips and guide on who you should bring and what you should do, and obviously who your summons and your supports should be. Alright, first off, again, I sound like a broken record here, but you should limit your ability usage because you want to kill the boss ASAP when he revives. So basically the mechanic here is Seymour will revive after you kill him, and that's when you should use all your abilities as much as you can. Of course, if you have to, you can use your abilities, but try to use it towards the end of the fight because he will summon two mannequins at the same time. And so for the characters that you want to bring in, obviously the boosted characters such as Steiner, Tidus, and Saz are all welcome, although Saz is still a little bit of I don't know why you're bringing him, but he does have a boosted stat, so you can bring him. You can also of course bring in Vincent and Lightning for that synergy I like so much. He also brings Eiko as well because you can be taking a little bit of HP damage as well, so that is a plus to bring. Also, Seymour himself, if you have him already, is actually a good character to bring as well because of his debuff abilities, and he does have a high turn rate with a chain spell as well. So bringing Seymour is a choice that I would make if my Seymour was a lot stronger. As for support characters, obviously get characters that have good synergy with your team. Debuffing characters such as Seymour and Steiner are welcome, and I did see someone that posted that Cloud's cross slash has a chance to paralyze Seymour, which can be helpful. I mean, that can be helpful at any given time, but that is a luck based debuff, and it's not like 100% guarantee, but if you do get the paralysis, that's like a free extra turn, so use that at your own risk. Of course, you can bring in the boosted character like Tidus as well, and I did mention Steiner already, but you can have high DPS characters such as Squall and Lightning together in your support, which basically to burst down Seymour later on. As for the summon, I do believe just Ifrit is enough for this, and the reason being Seymour doesn't actually have any weaknesses and resistances, and you have to maximize your attack. So Ifrit is definitely my choice, especially if you are bringing Eiko with you, because you can heal up and get that increased max attack again later on in the fight. But other summons can be used if that's what you want to use, but you know, the max attack is always very helpful. And I think that's it for the general tips and guides. Let's go through this wave by wave. Alright, so the first wave is a bunch of mannequins that you're gonna be facing on, and that would be Sephiroth, Lightning, and Y'shtola. So one thing to note here is Lightning can actually die pretty quickly, so my strategy is to take her down as quick as I can, of course trying to avoid being broken as well. You have to note that Y'shtola can use Medica too, and she can use Stone to push your turn a little bit further, but the main problem here is actually Sephiroth, because of his Heartless Angel, as you guys have seen there, it drops your Brave to 1 point, and he actually has like very good skills, to be honest. Like, one is a pure Brave damage, and one is a Brave plus HP attack that you do have to watch out. I do believe it's Fervent Slash is for the Brave one, and he does the Octo Slash, which is the Brave plus the HP damage. You basically, what I try and do here is, whenever for my Vincent anyway, is I do try to use live wire so he doesn't do too much damage. But as you guys can see, I actually took a lot of damage on that one, and I was pretty disappointed in myself that that happened. But what can I do? His Brave recovered back up, and then he used Octo Slash, so I will heal up eventually, but that is something you do want to avoid. And other than that, Sephiroth has the most HP as well, so he will take a lot of hits. So it's not a good idea to actually try and kill Sephiroth first. That's just from my experience anyway. So wave 2 is basically, you got Balthier and you've got Cecil. This is actually a lot easier. Balthier is pretty squishy, and for the most part Cecil will reduce his own HP, so I really don't want to go over this too much, but you do have to watch out, because Darkness does hit as an AoE, and they can have a lot of Brave if you mismanage it too much. So do use your skills here as much as you can, but obviously try and save up for later on. Other than that, you should be fine here, and we'll go to wave 3. Alright, wave 3 starts off with just Seymour himself, which is a bit of a head scratcher, because the fight before this, at least the boss fight, he actually had 2 of his mannequins set up already, which was, for me, felt a little bit harder than this one. But hey, I'm not gonna complain. It's actually a little bit tricky to get the missions plus the enough points to get all your event rewards for this one. I had to repeat this a few times because either Seymour ends up killing me, which obviously will lower my points, or I mismanage the mannequins later on and actually end up dying again. So, I mean, the first part of this is basically just Seymour himself. Since I haven't covered Seymour before, I will list down all his resistance abilities and all that. So let's start off with that. So, like I said earlier, Seymour doesn't actually have any resistances or weaknesses, and so the summon that you bring doesn't really matter. But if you do have Vincent, you know, you can use his deadly beast flare in order for him to be weak to fire, and you can take advantage of that. He does have the Brave attack, which is just his normal Brave attack, HP attack, which is his normal HP attack. He does have a chain spell, which is a combination of 2 different spells, and he will start using it at about half HP. So the first one is chain spell Fire and Ice, which is Fire and Ice Brave magic attack, which, by the way guys, all of these chain spell have a high turn rate, so just to let you know. The next one is the chain spell Ice and Thunder, pretty self-explanatory, and then chain spell Thunder and Fire. His hybrid attack, which is both the Brave and HP attack, is called the Lance of Atrophy, and if you have Seymour yourself, you know this is his Brave magic attack plus HP attack, and this also inflicts a attack down, defense down as well, so you have to be careful here. And he can use this in a combination and kill off your character if you don't have enough HP, and this is probably what happened to me most of the time when I was trying for a higher score. Was basically he'll recover his Brave and then suddenly use Lance of Atrophy and kill me off. And sometimes the Cypher mannequin will use one of his abilities, which I believe is Flash Fire, and basically it'll it'll inflict there's a high chance of it inflicting blind, which means my attack will miss and I don't end up reducing their brave, and then they will kill me with their HP attacks. So just something to be mindful of, but it's not like it's gonna happen all the time, but yeah, just keep that in mind. Next up, he has his Flare, which is his Brave magic attack. This is a all-out attack, so if you see the all attack there, it's basically gonna be Flare. And of course, he has his signature move, which is Dispelga, which removes all the target's buffs without any frames. Now, I know this happens, it's basically a free turn for him and when he uses Dispelga, but I actually haven't experienced him using Dispelga in this particular fight. I know when we fought Seymour during his character event, he was using it straight away, but for some reason he doesn't use it here against me, so it's a little bit of a head scratcher, but if it does happen to you, just keep an eye out for it. And of course, he does have his summon mannequin, which basically in this fight he'll summon the mannequin of Y'shtola and the mannequin of Cypher. So this is probably a lot more complicated than the last one that we covered, which was the Right Priest. Basically that one is pretty self-explanatory. It was pretty quick to explain to you guys what you should be doing, and I didn't even have to, you know, put dots on what you should be doing. So for this fight is a little bit more complicated than that. There's a few ways for you guys to actually do this fight. It's one, obviously we'll start off when Seymour finally revives, because the first phase is basically you just trying to kill him off, and just use your abilities if you need to, but if you can avoid it, don't use it. So once he revives, basically you should be saving your summon for when he revives, because if you use your summon straight away, which was my mistake actually when I first tried it, I ended up like, oh, this is pretty easy, and then he revived, and then I was like overwhelmed with how many turns they actually ended up having. So the first way to go about this fight is actually concentrating on Seymour himself. Like seriously, like just pour all your DPS on him, and hopefully you can kill him before things get into bad shape. Of course, this doesn't always work, and it's actually the strategy I went with, but if you don't have enough DPS, then things can be pretty hard, because you're gonna be running out of abilities, and trying to kill Seymour without any abilities is actually pretty hard, especially with the two mannequins on his side still alive. So the other way to go around here is to actually kill off one of his mannequins, and I honestly feel like you should be aiming for the Y'shtola mannequin first rather than the Cypher one, but the Cypher one can be pretty annoying, especially with the flash fire, and dang, that skill is pretty annoying. So I mean, either or, you kill one of these off and then concentrate on Seymour. I just don't know whether if you kill both the mannequins that Seymour will actually resummon them, which will make your life a whole lot harder. So you know, that is something to think about. But yeah, those are basically the two general ways I would go around it. Is basically either kill Seymour first, or just kill one of the mannequins first and then kill Seymour. I don't know if he will summon just the one mannequin. It hasn't happened to me, so hopefully it doesn't happen to you. Anyway guys, I think that's it for this video. Remember to click like, subscribe, and share this video if you find it helpful at all. As always, I'd like to hear from you guys what you think of this fight and what strategy are you using, and of course which characters are you guys using. I actually should ask that every time I do these videos. Of course, I want you guys to follow me on Twitter and on Facebook at Monchkinz Gaming. This is Monchkinz logging off, and I'll see you guys in the next level.